back to What a Glitch, and today I brought you a new retake on the old classic, The Legend of Zelda, A Link Between Worlds. You'll see a lot of neat things in this episode, but unfortunately, none of them beat the game in under 4 minutes. The majority of these glitches are used in speedruns however, so they will be useful, but not a cakewalk. This is going to be a bit of a long episode too because there are a surprising amount of glitches, so grab some milk and prepare to get hooked on these cool glitches. Now we'll begin our quest right after we meet up with the blacksmith. We're supposed to deliver the captain's sword, but instead we're heading to Death Mountain. Normally you can't get into the cave without the power gloves that come later in the story, but instead we're gonna get on top of the rocks. What you need to do is go near a tree to lure out one of these birds. When they dive after Link, you want him to stand in a spot where the bird will end up southwest of the cave entrance. Get Link in front of the rock facing southwest and then jump off the cliff when the bird dives at Link. Link will jump but instantly be recoiled by the bird, giving him just the right amount of height and distance to get over those rocks. Now just walk in. By now, Link's probably low on health. There are monsters in this cave, and since Link doesn't use his sword yet, you'll have to use the pots. However, if you do die, thankfully the game removes the rocks at the entrance. Now you just want to go through the cave normally until you get to Death Mountain so you can activate the weather vane. Now, kill yourself. Yep, this will send you back to Link's house and will trigger a cutscene that will only be triggered after the Eastern Palace. Since we were able to start renting items early, get the tornado rod for free and be absolutely sure you grab the bow now. You won't be able to later. After you bought the required items, head over to the Hyrule Castle, talk to the guard in the front, and then go to the sanctuary. After the Yuga cutscene, Link is transported home. But there's more unexpected company. What happened is the cutscene where you meet Ravio is overlapping the already existing Ravio. That's not the only place where Link is seeing double. If you go to Kakariko village, a few NPCs seem to have duplicated. They say the same thing as each other too. These extra NPCs disappear later in the game, but the Ravio twins stay there the entire time. After that, the Eastern Palace is the next target. Get through the dungeon until you find this Armo statue in the room with the boss door. Activate the elevator and hit him with a sword so that he gets on it. Lead him slightly north to the bottom left corner in front of the door. When he jumps at Link, let him. You're gonna need the short invincibility so that when he jumps on Link again, you can use the tornado rod to launch both of them into the air and push Link to the side. He should land on top of the wall so you can just walk right along. You can actually walk into the loading zone for the boss door, skipping the majority of the dungeon. Back in the overworld, there's a very important quest that needs to be done. Make sure that you get Irene's bell if you haven't already, and head over to the cave entrance outside the Zora's domain. Don't go inside, but instead, go to Kakariko village. Get the Pegasus boots and the smooth gem, then go to Ravio to buy the bombs. Now head into the Zora's domain. Waiting for you is the bloated Queen Zora. If Link walks up the stairs, a cutscene triggers involving Oran, the Zora Queen, eating fish. Instead of doing that, we will perform something known as the BombRod. As this sort of implies, that you'll be using the bomb and the tornado rod. When you get hit by things, more than likely Link will be knocked back, even with bombs. If we combine knockback with the tornado rod, we can get just high enough to get on the ledge outside the cutscene trigger zone. Drop a bomb and just before it explodes, use the tornado rod. It may take some getting used to with the timing, but it's not that difficult. Once you're on the ledge, go around the left side of the room and drop the smooth gem into the water to fix the queen. She will return to her normal form, so just walk down and trigger the cutscene. Now she's not supposed to be bloated anymore, but the game thinks she is. Obviously, that fish is not supposed to fly like that. After that fishy little event, swim over to the House of Gales now that you have the flippers. Inside the dungeon on the second floor, there's a small key that requires you to go all the way around the dungeon, but there's a much easier way. Get under the pole holding the key and move slightly upwards. Use the tornado rod and hold down. Link should grab the key, then fall down to the ground. The next trick you can do here allows you to skip the rest of the floor. Make sure you grab the boss key before you do this so you don't have to come back again. Stand on the stairs and face the north. Now this is a pixel perfect trick, so move around while charging up a spin attack. You want the Chao to align in a certain fashion, so look on the screen for how it needs to be aligned. Once you've got it, charge up the dash while holding down on the control pad. Link should slide over that gap onto the other side. This skips a bunch of stuff on that floor, and you can go ahead and hit the switch for the fan. To get back, all you need to do is face south, standing halfway off the edge, dash, and then slow down just before you fall off. Link should make it to the other side with no problems. Later on, Link will visit the Tower of Hera. On the third floor, there are some switch blocks that need to be, well, switched. The northernmost switch and block pair can help you do the BombRod technique to the next floor. Remember, all you need to do is put the bomb on the block, switch it, and after 5 flashes, use the tornado rod. Getting the timing is pretty tricky, but once you have it, you should have gone through. Now here's the kicker, if you were too much to the left, you'll be pushed through the wall onto the 4th floor. You're welcome to explore this area if you want to, but there's really more that you can do while you're still in the wall. What should actually happen is Link getting stuck halfway in the wall. From here, you can use the tornado rod to go up another floor. And since Link's still on the wall, just move to the right, taking care not to fall out of bounds. Get to the very edge and make sure you have enough energy to use the Tornado Rod twice, because you need to use the Tornado Rod immediately when you fly to the 6th floor. That skips a mini-boss, so that's pretty cool. Once you get all 3 pendants and the Master Sword, we can go to Hyrule Castle. Something strange to note here is that we skipped over the cutscene earlier where we visit Zelda to get the Pendant of Courage, so both that scenario and the Seas Castle scenario are both here. This will lead to some rather interesting things in the castle. For one thing, there are both guards and enemies in here. And when you trigger the cutscene with Zelda, things are even stranger. First thing, Link disappears when the cutscene starts. The camera won't move, but the text is still going. Zelda gives you the Pendant of Courage, but she's also a red guard? Yeah. While we're in the dungeon part of Hyrule Castle, we can get on top of a ceiling again. It's the same way as the Eastern Palace, so just lure Armos over to the southeast corner of the room, and use those invincibility frames to push Link while in midair. When you're on the wall, run over to the left to about here. Move south until you fall through the floor outside, and just go into the door right there. Most of the floor will be skipped, so you can go into floor 4 and finish Hyrule Castle. Also, before I go on, I'd like to mention, don't ever go into Sahasrahla's house at this point. He will immediately soft lock your game. He'll keep talking forever and ever, and he's even bored himself to death over there. Just pause and quit. Now we've entered the Kingdom of Hyrule. Since you can visit the dungeons in almost any order, let's start with the Thieves Hideout. There's a really quick way to get to the mini-boss, and it's easy too. In the room west of the starting room, there are 2 gargoyle statues that you can move around, and there are metal bars that you can switch on and off. If a statue is placed on one of these bars when it switches, the statue will be tossed to the side. If it lands on the other statue, it slides over until it can hit the ground. But if Link is in that space while grabbing one of the statues, he'll go through the ground. If you do this glitch on a certain spot as shown here, you could fall through the floor on top of the wall on the lower floor. But you have to be careful, because depending on where you grab the statue, you'll either be pushed up a block and standing on the wall, or you'll completely miss the wall and have to go around. Make sure you grab the statue on the right but on the northern half of the block Link's standing on. When you fall through, the camera should be acting pretty wonky. The game doesn't know what floor you're on, so we'll keep doing this for now. What you want to do is walk north until you reach this area, but try not to go too fast, otherwise you'll fall off. In this room, there are switches that you can hit with bombs. The leftmost switch is very dangerous if you fall in, as there's no possible way out. You do need to hit it to move on through the dungeon however, so go ahead and do that. After that, just go to the right and then go up north. The camera should change a bit, but you want Link to be standing in a position like I have here, facing northeast. Now charge up the Pegasus boots holding control stick in the opposite direction and go. You should land around the door in front of the mini-boss room, and just beat the mini-boss there, grab a small key, and finish the rest of the dungeon. Now the next place to go is the Dark Palace, but of course, you gotta go through the maze first. And of course, we're gonna skip through it. From the start, go southeast past the jail to find the Snapdragon. Kill the other enemy too so it doesn't get in the way. Now whip out that sand rod and slap that Snapdragon with it. Keep doing it until the Snapdragon's stuck between the tree and the ledge. Wait until the enemy isn't stunned anymore and use a Tornado Rod on it, and then Link should be pushed between the tree and the enemy. Make sure he's facing right and dash, and Link should be bounced onto the ledge. Then just carefully walk along the edge right past the guard. And he can't see you, so it's safe. Now just go forward and finish that maze. Now that we're heading onto the Skull Woods, on floor B2 you can get a small key quickly by aligning yourself with the left side of the door. Do a dash forward while holding down on the control stick. You should land in front of the chest, grab the key, and die. Later on, you encounter the eyeball puzzle that requires 2 eyeball objects to solve it. If you take one of the eyeballs and throw it at the pedestal so that it lands in front of it, this places an invisible eye that you can't interact with. However, when you put the actual eyeball into the pedestal, while that eyeball is in the air, you have the opportunity to grab the invisible one. And if you pick it up while the purple light shows up, you can activate the switch while still having the eyeball. Now put it in the other one, saving you a lot of time. Finally, at the end of the Skull Woods is the boss Wallmaster. Now this upcoming glitch may be the most difficult glitch to pull off in this entire game. Difficulty meter down there has completely broken. So if you can't handle this glitch, you might as well stop playing the game. So, Wallmaster. When you start off, head straight forward to the wall. Swipe with the sword once to get the correct distance from the wall. When Wallmaster starts to charge his attack, wait until he pulls back to punch. Just then, use the Tornado Rod. Hold up the control stick and don't let go. And now you beat Wallmaster. Here's some cake. Now that we've done one of the easiest glitches in the game, it's time to move on to the Swamp Palace. You can easily get to the boss key by dashing forward while holding down the control pad from the stairs. You can do the same thing and skip a large part of the dungeon, but this time it's a bit more difficult. Link needs to have the right of his shadow align with the right edge of the stairs and the bottom of his shadow align with the bottom edge of the second stair. Do the dash cancel and you should go over. Grab the small key, and if you already have another one, you can skip through most of the dungeon, including the first mini-boss. But if you want to skip the second mini-boss, it's much simpler. When you enter the room, slowly inch to the right edge while facing downward with the weapon charging. Once you think you're far enough, back up to give yourself some space. Dash cancel again, and you should fly to the other side. This here is actually the hardest glitch in the game. You will fail many times. So introducing the Desert Palace skip. That's right, Lucky Link will be completely skipping the dungeon. How, you may ask? It begins with a trip to Misery Mire. Navigate till you get to this area. See this enemy? I'm calling him Wizpig. He's our friend now. What do we do with our friends? We push him in front of a portal to another realm using a hookshot, of course. Wizpig needs to be very centered with the portal and facing south for this, so get as precise as possible. Before Wizpig comes to, Link needs to be up very close and personal, so when Wizpig wakes up, Link will be knocked back southwards. Immediately use the hookshot again to stun him and walk through him while you have the temporary invincibility. If Link was aligned properly, he should go into the wall. Do not touch the control pad at this point, otherwise Link will fall through the ground and be pushed out of the wall. If you're lucky, Wizpig will push Link further into the wall with the correct distance and Link won't fall through the ground. If he didn't, make sure you have normal bombs and place one. Pick it up and throw it right before it explodes so Link gets knocked back further into the wall. When throwing, it's better to be early than to be late, otherwise you get knocked out of the wall. Pick up and throw another bomb and it should land right outside the wall, and once it explodes, Link should be sent the correct distance in the wall. Now here's the worst part. Have the control pad northeast and then, a frame later, use a tornado rod. This sounds easy, well, not exactly, but the moment the game registers the control pad to make Link move, you have to use the tornado rod. I failed at this part more times than I can count. Now that you're up on the wall, you can simply head towards the boss area, but don't go in just yet. Fall so that you land on this ledge in the arena. At this point, you can choose one of three options. First option is to go directly into the arena and get completely soft-locked in the game. Second option is to go and touch the top wall, and then you can go into the boss arena. This way it loads the boss so that you can actually fight it. If you don't touch the top wall, the boss never loads, and that's why Link gets stuck there. And finally, the third option is to begin a dash cancel with Link's shadow centered between these two lines. Dash over and Link will be sent to the area with the heart container and my waifu, Irene's portrait. And that's the entire dungeon. Alright, we are finally done with all the difficult glitches. Here's something much easier called animation storage. What it does is allow Link to store the animation of jumping out of water. It's performed by swimming towards a dock, letting go of the control pad and pressing B when Link gets near it, and when he touches it, swim away without pressing B. If Link touches a wall, he'll try to jump on it like it's a place where he can leave the water. Very good use for this would be at Turtle Rock. You can get on this little ledge and tornado rod up to the entrance to the dungeon. Now you don't have to rescue the turtles and you can just skip through that entire sequence. Inside Turtle Rock, you can skip to the boss without any keys. On floor B1, towards the south, there's a bridge with rolling spike bars above the lava. Place an ice block on the lava or extend the bridge to get a good foothold. Position Link under the left railing of the bridge facing downwards. When the spike bar above touches the left side, place a bomb. When it comes back and hits this little first pattern thing, use a tornado rod. The trick is much easier with big bombs, but little bombs work too. Link should go up there fine, and all you need to do is hit the button and defeat the Riz Robes. When heading to the ice ruins, you have to go through Ross's ore mine. How are we gonna skip it this time? Well, now viewer, start up at the weather vane at Death Mountain, merge onto the wall and take the portal on the left. On the other side, drop down and dash all the way to the right. When you get to the bridge, you'll see that there's no normal way to get across. What you need to do is get the skull to follow you onto the bridge. Let him push Link up into this corner, use the tornado rod, and then just hookshot over to the right. Now that we got to the ice ruins, we'll skip that too. Go down to floor B2 and take the elevator up. Stand on the very right edge facing north, and when Link touches the bottom of the ceiling, hold right. A good guideline I use for when to hold right is to hold it right before the tops of the ice blocks line up. In this quick fraction of a second that Link is in the wall, dash cancel to the north. You should be under the floor, and from there you need to walk carefully along this path to this position as shown here. You want Link's head to be lined up with the top of the wall. Move to the right slowly from here until Link falls. Then move slowly north until Link's head aligns with the bottom of the dark blue edge. Now slowly again move to the right until the camera moves over. Go slightly right just a little bit more and Link should fall all the way down to the boss arena. Without touching the bottom half of the arena, shoot fire into the center a few times until the heart container appears and you can go and rescue the final sage. We're finally here at Hyrule Castle. Even at the end of the game, there's still glitches to be done. The first one you can do here is actually a BombRod to the second floor. Push these two statues together like this and throw a nice bomb in the middle of them. After the bomb blinks 4 times, use the tornado rod. And look, second floor. Even though Stairs are right there. Next trick here is the trial skip. In the bomb trial, it's a huge bomb next to a rock. Warning, do not destroy this rock. And if you're stupid like me, you don't save after you break that rock. This rock is very important. What you can do to prevent total rock destruction is leave the huge bomb to the left and then dash to the right until you hit the switch. The huge bomb will no longer follow Link and it will be a safe distance away. Now here you want to hit the switch so that Link can stay on the blocks. Hit the switch so Link is standing on the blocks above the ground. Position Link while charging a spin attack so that it's close to what you see here. It's not pixel perfect, but it is close. When you release a spin attack, Link should jump and land in the same place. And you can do it over and over again and you should stay in the same place. Now place a nice bomb, and when it gets to the 4th blink, release a spin attack. Link should jump and be hit onto the wall. Now just run all the way over to here and stand in this spot. Face southeast and dash cancel again. And you should land right into the loading zone for the door outside. Now just go and finish the game. We may be done there, but I'm not done yet. I found this really cool website recently that I want to tell you about. But don't worry, it's not Audacity, it's actually a little thing called Opinion Outpost. Simply put, the website pays you for giving your opinions on things, while you pay nothing. Companies actually go to them so you can take their surveys, putting real live extra cash money dineros in your pocket holes. It may sound fishy, but I have used them before and I wouldn't endorse something I don't trust. In fact, I used some money from their survey to get this game, and I couldn't make this video without the game, right? So click the link in the description if you want to learn more about them. So yeah, if you want, you can follow the Twitch, you can follow the Twitter, you can help support the show on Patreon, and of course, if you really feel like it, leave a comment, favorite I guess, subscribe, and if this was 2008, you could rate this 5 out of 5 stars. And now it's time for another wacky insulate time. So, boy, this took forever. I'm very sorry. Didn't mean for it to take 10 years, but yeah. Really have to thank you all for, helping me out and all that. And especially over at Twitter, y'all encouraging me. I like Twitter. You should go there. And some other cool people that I really want to shout out. We got Hideout. We got my boy Roman, otherwise known as Novazone TV. He's gonna do things. There's Joe, but Joe doesn't have a channel. So let me just link to Super Epic Clay, because Clay's got a nice channel. Go see what he's got. Yeah, go give him the gold dust. And that's about it. Follow on Twitter, I guess, even though I already said that. And yeah, stay golden.